Hey, good morning, YouTube. I'm just making a quick little video. I want to give my first impressions of Ghost of Yotei. It's not what I thought it was going to be, as far as my first impressions go. I really thought I was going to absolutely be enthralled with it. It looked really good, and this has got nothing to do with people saying it's woke and all that, because as far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen anything about the game that seems woke at all. So I'm not even going to entertain that kind of crap. But with that being said, guys, my first impressions are it's not bad. It's not a bad game. I can't really comment too much on how good it looks because I am playing it on my portal, because my gaming on my OLED screen right here is all under construction. I don't really have a TV I can hook it up to, but the portal is, got a pretty beautiful screen on it, and it really does reflect how good a game looks normally, from even a TV. So I can definitely say the game is going to look amazing on an OLED screen. It looks very damn good on just the portal. So looks category, it looks just as good as Ghosts of Tsushima. It's probably going to look even a tad better when I get it hooked up to my OLED 4K TV. So looks department, they nailed it, right? Looks great. I don't know. So, this is probably going to be people might hate on this. It's not even a review, guys. It's first impressions. And first impressions can change, and it very well might change. I'm probably only an hour or so into the game, but here's why I'm not as impressed. There are some things. Let me talk about the things that I do like. So the things that I do like are they got rid of all the crazy amount of deer running around that just makes no sense. They're just freaking everywhere. They, just all around you. And they kind of changed that to having this big pack of horses that run around the world in packs, which makes a hell of a lot more sense than deer. I have seen deer, but only in the wooded area so far. So it seems like they toned down that, which makes a lot more sense. I mean, I know that's a small thing, but that just, kind of breaks the immersion in Ghost of Tsushima when you get just all these crazy deer just everywhere, running around right by you and, all that stuff. But I like the flower pass that if you run into them, they tend to speed you up and get around like that in a quicker way. That's kind of a cool idea. I like the new kind of world. I like the mountain backdrop. I do like that. Um, I guess I'm trying to think what else I really like. The gameplay and the fighting. To be honest, guys, it doesn't feel that new or innovative to me so far. Again, I'm an hour in. I haven't probably unlocked nearly everything. I just got my second weapon. Or I think the ability to get the second weapon or whatnot once I go and take on this guy that I opened up in the plains. But so, again, this ain't a review. This is just my first impressions. And my first impressions are it's not a bad game. It's essentially more of the same, but just with a different protagonist. The thing that I don't like about it, that I feel like I'm only an hour in, guys, and an hour in of just a lot of like they're feeding you, getting you built up for like the game, right? And I have heard her like constantly just ask everybody right straight out, what can you tell me about the six, whatever they call the six, right? The six, the bosses that you're trying to eventually kill and fight in the game. But it's overly done. It's like constantly you're hearing about the six. Okay, I get it. We're going after these six protagonists, but it's like one time I set up camp for the first time, and all of a sudden a guy shows up and sits down, and it wasn't even like any dialogue of who are you or whatever. Like the very first question is, what can you tell me about the six, right? It doesn't feel very organic. It feels kind of forced. It's like, I don't know, I just didn't really like that. And the other thing that I'm not liking so far, at least how they're starting the game out, it starts out where they're almost giving you everything too fast. It's just like they're force feeding you everything. It's like I just freed this little tavern or whatever, right? And this one person was worried, and one of the little side mission things, not really big spoiler, is he wants you to go find his friend because it is the only friend that he has. And he's worried about him. He has been gone a long time. And she asks, where do I go look? And you get out your spyglass and you look and see that smoke, that's his camp or whatever. Dude, it's like 100 yards away. It's like he's worried about his friend, but he can literally visually see where his friend's camp is. You could freaking walk there in 10 minutes, not even. So I get on my horse and I ride out to his camp and he's right there. And he's like, oh, I'm lost, and it's like, it just, so far, the story and everything about the game doesn't hit like Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima, like the opening of the game, was absolutely epic. Absolutely insanely good. I don't know, guys. Ghost of Tsushima really grabbed me. And it did, after many, many, many hours, start to get a little bit tiresome of, freeing up, the same people and the same things. But even with that being said, it still is fun to play. I still can jump in and ignore the repetitiveness when I really want to go in and have some good fighting and stuff. And that's another thing, guys. Now, I know I can raise the difficulty up, right? But the normal difficulty on Ghost of Tsushima, because I don't play on easy, I play on pretty much the normal, however it starts out, right? That game gave me a challenge in the very beginning, right? Even after you started to learn the controls, it gave you a challenge. And this game, I'm almost going to have to up the difficulty another notch because it just, so far, it's not been a challenge at all. I mean, this is the beginning of a brand new game, so there should definitely be a challenge. And I mean, like in the freeing up the tavern, I mean, I took on like 10 or 12 people. And other than, they got a couple of hits in on me. I died a couple times only because I didn't counter quick enough or I forgot to hurry up and heal myself or whatever. But the fighting was just, and then if you go like so many hits without being hit, almost like the rage mode almost in Ghost of Tsushima, you hit your R3 and L2 or whatever together, you get what's called the owl rage or something. And I just go through and I just destroy these people. They barely get a hit in. I just took out 6 or 7 of them, right? And then a new bunch of people roll up and I kill them. Just way too easy. And maybe that's because I've played a lot of Ghost of Tsushima, so it feels so the same that I just have no problem. They brought back the hold the triangle button before a fight, but even that feels way too easy. It's just, so I'll probably up the difficulty. But the problem I have with a lot of games when you up the difficulty, it's usually, all it does is just, it doesn't up the difficulty in a way where it's more challenging. It just makes them harder to beat or more hits to beat, you know what I'm saying? But I'll give it a try. But with that being said, guys, my first impressions are it's a good game, but I'm not grabbed by it. And like I said, at the beginning of the game, they throw so much at you right away. Like, here's your horse. Here's your bow. Here's this. Do this. Here's a mask already. Here's this. Like, all within like 40 minutes, 30, 40 minutes, it's like, here's your horse. They're giving you everything so fast. And I just feel like they could have taken their time doing that. Not to a crazy point, but they could have taken their time. So that's my first impressions, my very first impressions. I do like the game. I'm going to obviously give it a full chance because I do like the setting. I do like the character. I do like the look. I don't think it's going to be a game I'm not going to like. But my first impressions are, it's more the same. They got creative with doing the same thing, but in a different way, the way you jump, the way you move. So far I haven't even figured out the way you like get off of a mountain or, well, usually you could drop down. This one you almost have to jump down and hope you hit right. So far. When you fall, you can't do the double roll to try to protect yourself from a smaller fall. So far you can't do that. So they've kind of taken everything they already had and just kind of changed it up a little bit. And some of the things I'm liking and some of the things it feels okay. So that's right now. So far the game feels okay. not a lot of moments right from the beginning that wowed me. Is like, oh my god, like the opening was like, holy cow. The opening was good, but it wasn't like crazy. And then it really slowed down because of like the story of them force feeding you her family history. Everything's about her family or this area. Oh, I remember when we played under the tree, and the drawing. It was cool for them to use the touchpad where you can draw and write things, but I feel like that's kind of a gimmicky thing, and that gets really old. It's cool the first time, or the way you gotta cook food. You can skip it, but you can like hold food over the fire and turn it right and left. And I found that gimmicky as well. So anyway, those are my first impressions of the game. I will make a full-fledged review in probably a week.